All righty. Let me see if I see you.
Keeping fingers and toes and everything crossed.
I see you.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
It
Okay.
says live on Facebook.
Oh yeah, it says we're live. Buenas tardes, everybody. My name is Dr. Lulu, aka the Mom Nutrition. It's 2 p.m. Central, therefore it is time for Ask Coach Lulu. My name is Dr. Lulu, aka the Mom Nutrition. I'm a board certified pediatrician and I'm a mom. But in my spare time, I'm also a coach. I coach parents of LGBTQ plus kids because I can. And then somebody has to. I help them accept, understand, and support their little minions so they can thrive and flourish in life without limitations or judgment. And to help me push that message forward today, I got 3 degrees of separation. We got 3 Black girls who are rocking. We're here to pour into y'all today. It's going to be fierce. It's going to be raw. It's going to be real. So if you know me, you know it's about to go down. So do me a favor. Find your friends, Shaniqua, Boniqua, and them. Call them, holla at them. Tell them to come and let's talk about being Black and gay in Hollywood. Just kidding. So we're going to get started. I've got with me on my left, Miss Kitia, and then below Kitia is Miss Lashondra with an aura.
Hi.
And then Miss Candace suddenly vanished. I promise she was here on camera.
Hi. I'm here somewhere.
These things happen. You know, you can't edit live. She was here. I promise. We're not just messing with y'all. And so we've got Judy watching. Judy says hello. We already got 3 shares in the building. So ladies, if you want to share so we can get started. I am excited. I'm excited. I will be looking at my phone from time to time. And that means if I see any comments or any love, I'll be sharing what's going on the screen with y'all. Let me turn down my mic. So we got 6 people watching. This is fantastic. We got T. Brevard, who's got a beautiful soul, who happens to be my used to be my patient, who is also in the LGBTQ plus family. We've got Judy Palin watching, and I need Kitia to come so we can get started. Oh my God, this is live, Kitia. You can't do me like this. Thank you.
You see me sneak away right quick.
All right. So the beautiful thing about it is you can't edit live. So things have to happen. But in the meantime, I'm going to go alphabetical. So Miss Candace, the beautiful Candace Sewell is bottom left now on the screen. So Miss Candace, Miss Kitia, and Miss Ashandra, thank y'all so. Oh, look, Candace, look. So Miss Candace, we're going to go with you first because we're going alphabetical. Candace, why did you decide to come and bear out your soul to the world today? Because Facebook has like what, 8 million people or more. So why did you choose to do something like this today, Candace? Take it away.
Okay, well, first I'm Candace, and I live in Maryland, and I'm a clinical mental health therapist. I'm fully licensed. I decided to do this because honestly, I don't think I've ever shared my story with anyone of how I came out. I know I've talked to my sister before I came out. She knew since high school, but I've never fully actually let people know that side of me. So I'm like, why not? So sure. So that's why I decided to do this today.
Yeah. I love why not. I love why not. I mean, one of my favorite things to say is because I can. I mean, it's like no one can take your can from you. I mean, you can even say it twice for those at the back. I can and I can again. I'm getting dizzy because of all the movement on Kita's end. I don't know what to do today, y'all. Kitia,
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be stationary.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna be stationary.
Literally, I am feeling dizzy. And then what about Miss Lashondra? Lashondra, can you speak yet? Can anybody tell me between Kitia and Lashondra why you decided to do this today?
Well, okay. You ready, Chandra?
Right. IJKL. So Kitia, you next.
Okay. Well, my name is Kitia. I'm from Nashville, and I am a therapist, and I work in the prison system. I also have a 30-year-old daughter who came out 4 years ago, and she is a 100% lesbian who is in a relationship with her girlfriend. And I decided to do this on this platform to make my daughter proud of me, because I don't think that she thinks that I'm proud of her. And I really am. And I want her to know that I understand her and the community more than what she thinks, and that I love her more than what she thinks, and I support her more than what she thinks. And the community means so much more to me than anyone would ever know. So that's why I'm here.
Kitia, that is so, can I just take a moment to thank you for bringing down the vibration for a second? That was so powerful. I don't know if your baby girl is watching, but I want you to know that I see you, Kitia. I hear you too. And you know what? A lot of children see you and hear you. So if you're watching me, please type in the comment section. Tell us why you're watching this show. And please give a shout out to Kitia for bringing it home for me. As a parent coach, as a parent of a non-binary myself, Kitia, I see you, sis, and I appreciate you for coming. I really, really, really do. I mean,
I was speaking to someone last night in regards to something else that has to do with me. And I'll never forget that he told me last night that I have to not be afraid of who I am. And once I become more aware and accept who I am for what I am, then more things will come to me.
I love it. I don't know if you can feel, I'm an energy kind of person.
I'm an energy type of person.
Yeah.
I buy
and that was going on.
Right.
For a bit, my energy was like everywhere.
Yes.
And I was trying I try to look at the camera so I don't focus on the movement here, the movement there. But I love the way you were able to kind of capture it and just kind of bring it home for your baby. So you are doing this for your child. And this is why we do what we do, right? I mean, not only for kids, but to bring the truth. And you know what? You're already getting love. T. Brevat says, wow, that speaks volumes. Okay.
So I don't know who that message was for. I don't know who that message was for, but I'm sure that message was for someone. So once you accept who you are wholeheartedly and become who you are wholeheartedly, then you'll be able to love yourself more, and you'll be able to receive your energy more.
I love it. I love it. So we're going to hopscotch to, actually, before we do that, Amber Sam says, good, Judy. I'm a minister in his vineyard. Add me up on my beloved. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Sorry, I missed it. Okay, so Judy says, hey, everyone. And then T. Brevad was watching, and then Just Jay says, hey, Candace Sewell, speak. Okay, so you guys are getting so much love already. And then Amber Sam says, good, Judy. I'm a minister in his vineyard. Add me up on my beloved. So we're already getting a lot of love. And then T. Brevat says, wow, that speaks volumes. Just so you know that you're already connecting with the audience, even right from the jump. So we're going to hop on to Lashondra. Lashondra, bring that energy down, girl. Bring it. All right.
Hey,
Lashondra, hi, beautiful girl. How are you?
I am well. I cannot complain. Today is a beautiful day.
Yes, it is indeed. So Lashondra, tell us a little bit, just a quick 1 minute or so. Why did you decide to do this show? Because as you know, it's not popular. You know, you could be doing a lot of things on your Sunday afternoon, but you pulled over on the road to do this. So why did you decide to do this for us today?
Hey, everybody. My name is Lashondra Davis, and I am from Atlanta, Georgia. I am an executive administrator for small business owners and nonprofit organizations. I'm claiming that I'm a healing enthusiast, and I'm
That's
big
right.
in compassion and love. Um, I have been dating for a while, and it just seemed like as the things I go through in life, I realized like the other young lady just spoke on, until you fully love yourself and accept who you really are, living your truth is the ultimate key to just navigating through life. And I want to be the reason why somebody smile one soul at a time by doing just this. Um, I want to love myself. I love myself through other people, but I love myself on a deeper level when I experience that. That makes sense?
I love it. I love it. I mean, and I think as Black people in particular,
I feel I'm bisexual, or the sexuality of a relationship or the sexuality does not matter to me. I don't I don't judge no one, and I don't speak on my sexuality because it's a label. But I'm learning how to accept who I really am and just do the work. You know what I'm saying? To help somebody else heal.
I like it. I like where you're going. I like where you're going with the word with labeling. I love that. And you know what? Just if you're watching me, I want you to know that none of these ladies know the question I'm going to ask them. So I'm going to hop on that with, I'm going to hop from that to Candace. Candace, tell me a little bit about labels. You are a licensed therapist. You work with hurt healing people. Tell us a little bit about the importance of labels. I like that Lashondra said it doesn't matter to her, but tell us a little bit about, is it important or is it not important, labeling in the gay community in the Black world?
Labeling is not something that I'm fond of. And it's something that I
Exactly.
try to move my clients away from, for the simple reason that it puts them in the mental capacity of being judged and criticized yet again. And these are the things that they're trying to work through. And it's like, okay, well, I'm this and I'm this. No, how about you're just a human being who loves what you love and who you love, and that's just it. So when people ask me, I'm like, yeah, I'm a lesbian, but at the end of it, I'm just a woman who loves women. And that's just it. I don't get into, oh, are they dominant or are they feminine or are they aggressive and this, that. I don't get into all of that. So it's really important for me in the type of work that I do with my clients is to pull them out of that labeling and that stereotypical language, because that's the only way for me that they can really get to accepting and being who they want to be. Continuing to label themselves, I feel like for me, it's been hypocritical. I'm telling you, hey, don't worry about other people, judging you and labeling you, but oh, it's okay to label yourself. No, like, no, it's no. If you are who you are, and that's just it. And you have to be happy with that and love all of that and accept all of that and be okay with all of that. And understand that everybody's not going to be okay with it, but that's their mess, not yours.
Amen.
So labeling for me is a no-go.
I love it. I love it. Let me just do a brief recap. I love what I'm hearing. So no one cares about labels. And I have a story about that. When I was a younger version of me a few years ago, before I got married to my soon-to-be ex-wife, I remember telling someone that, and I had been married to a man before. But now I'm married to a woman. And I remember she said, oh, you're one of those people who is not really a lesbian. You just something about, so you're not really a lesbian, you're just with a woman. And I was like, you know what? Does it really matter in the end if I find happiness? Does it matter if it's with quote unquote a squirrel or a man from Alabama or someone from the Maasai of Kenya? Does it really ultimately matter? And so she couldn't come back with that. And I think you're right. Labels put us in boxes. We're not
like labels.
Crayons. We're not supposed to be in boxes. And the beautiful thing about it is when it comes to gender and sexuality, it's fluidity. It's fluidity, and it should be fluidity, which means if you're not feeling like loving a man this season, no one should be asking you, you must love a man, or vice versa. So I love what you're saying about, no, I didn't think about it that way, but I love where we're going with this. The fact that labels, what labels, right? And another thing I wanted to say is the word acceptance. You said be okay with accepting yourself. One of the things I mentioned on my page a couple of days ago was the word acceptance. And I said something in the lines of acceptance, self-acceptance, and acceptance by parents is the number one cure for mental health challenges caused by the closet. So I'm going to say that again for those at the back. When you are not accepted either by yourself or by your parents in particular, parents means your close guardians, whatever, that is the number one cause of mental health challenges that make people stay or remain in the closet. So talking about parenting, let's hop on to Miss Kitia. Miss Kitia, can you share the story about your daughter? Because again, today's show is our coming out stories. So Kitia, are you in the LGBTQ plus spectrum? That's one. And then number two, if you're not, which is fine, tell us your daughter's coming out story if you can. Thank you so much.
Well, to answer the first question, I'm going to leave that unanswered because I too do not, I don't like labels. So I'm going to leave that one unanswered, if I will. The second question, in how my daughter came out. My daughter jokingly, well, my daughter was pregnant. She was pregnant with twins. And she didn't tell me she was pregnant. I found out because of complications. And we got into an argument, and my son said, well, you're arguing with her about this, and she just had an abortion. And it hit me. So I had to change my whole dynamic. Well, at that point, at the time, the job that I had, I stayed deployed a lot. So I was coming home one day from a deployment, and the doctor's office called and said they were trying to get in touch with my daughter. She needed to come in because her test results stated that she was still pregnant. What? Well, my daughter has lupus and she has epilepsy. So I'm very involved in my daughter's care, and she had had a stroke. So I asked the nurse, why didn't you call me and tell me? And she tried to say, because my daughter was of age, she could not. Yes, you could, because you know my daughter's health history. Well, long story short, I took her in. Her test results showed that she was still pregnant. Lo and behold, the abortion aborted one baby, but she was still pregnant in her tube with another. Well, they wound up giving her, that baby was dead due to a tubal. So that killed that baby. So my daughter aborted twins. A couple of months later, well, right before that, my daughter kept coming to me and telling me that, Ma, my daddy want to know when I'm gonna give him some grandkids. I don't know if I want to have a girlfriend or boyfriend. I did not take her serious. I didn't take her serious. I thought she was just playing. She told me that about 3-4 times. Then here come the babies. She lose the babies. My daughter moved out, and she just so happened to move next door to me. So she brought a girl to my niece's birthday party, and I thought it was just a friend girl. She introduced her as her girlfriend. Oh, okay. I ain't think none of it. Well, next thing you know, about 2 months later, they broke up, and my daughter was crushed. This had been her girlfriend for 6 months. Come to find out, it was her very first girlfriend. I had to help my daughter through this. Then my daughter came to me and said, Ma, I told my dad, which is my ex-husband, that I was gay, and my dad disowned me.
Mm.
Their dad, my ex-husband, my children's father is a pastor.
Mm.
He told her that she was a disgrace to the family, that she was an abomination of hell, all the things that a pastor would tell someone that was gay. He told her that, and she was his child. I had to tell my daughter she was not. I had to disclose some personal information about myself to my daughter to make my daughter feel it was okay. At that time, the information that I disclosed about myself to my daughter, no one in my family ever knew.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, my son still does not know. But it let my daughter see me on a different playing field. It let my daughter understand me differently. It let my daughter feel good about herself and what she was doing. Not to mention that I called their father, my ex-husband. I did cuss him out, and I let him know that it's your child, and you do not, under no circumstance, tell her the things that you said to her, because she's not going to change. My daughter explained to me that she had been feeling this way and had an attraction to girls since she was in the second grade. But she knew that she could not express these things and bring them home because her father was a pastor.
Mm.
My daughter's not going to change.
Yeah, Kitia, I want you to take a break. I want us to just kind of I personally need that to sink in, because I was taking notes. I mean, you've touched on all of the reasons why I am doing this. You touched on all of them today. I'm going to list a few of them. You touched on acceptance. I said that earlier on, right? When I said it is the number one reason why people remain in the closet, or because I work in the suicide prevention arena, it is truly the number one reason why people kill themselves. And you know, there was a time I got kicked out of a group because, you know me, I'm a light the fire, I'm a light the spark. And I made a post that I said, "Dear parents, what is your role in your child's suicide?" I said it.
Whoa.
And I said it, and he was like, "Oh my God, it's a trigger." I said, "That, I'm a pediatrician. Don't tell me about no triggers. Look at what you said your ex-husband said to his own child. Let's just say, heaven forbid, that she kills herself. I like to use the word jump. I like to say, let's just say she jumps. We're going to be asking for thoughts and prayers. They're going to be trying to put her on medication. Nobody's thinking about being responsible for creating the milieu that caused that child to jump. So I'm going to say it. Yeah, they kicked me out, but that's okay, because I'm all about good trouble. Right. Dear parents, I'm going to ask again, dear parent, what is your role in your child's suicide?
Not to mention that I work in a field where I see men hang themselves every day. I see women hang themselves every day because they cannot, the men cannot openly express their sexuality because in the penitentiary, it is so shunned upon. You can't even say the word punk because it's taken in a derogatory turn. You can't even say the word sissy because it's taken in such a derogatory turn. Okay, you can't even wear your pants in a certain way because it's taken derogatory. In the women penitentiary, they have families and it's more accepted. Homosexuality is more accepted in the women's penitentiary.
Wow.
But in the men's penitentiary, it's not accepted. And even working with children in the juvenile, is more accepted because now it's more open and accepted in the community. But in the men's penitentiary, it's not accepted at all.
Kitia, I'm gonna ask you to just give me a second because you know me, I stay thinking about the next book I'm gonna write.
Ah!
I'm just hearing a whole book up in here. Sexuality and the penitentiary. You know, I've never thought about this.
Yeah.
Candace, can you please unmute yourself, Candace? You are a licensed therapist just like Miss Kitia. Candace, oh my God, bring it home for us, sis. Two things I want you to talk about. Number one, the fact that Kitia said she knew, or her daughter knew when she was in second grade that she was gay. And I tell people all the time, sexuality becomes apparent before the age of 7. Whether you like it or not, it don't matter to me. It doesn't really matter to me because kindergartners, they be having their little girlfriends, okay, at 4 and at 6. A boy knows if he likes a boy or not. Your religion don't matter. And then, of course, I want you to talk about, oh my God, girl, so much. You know what? Let's talk about the second grade first, honey. This is about to go down. Ooh, but before you do that, Candace, while you're warming up, let's get some love from the people that are watching. Diana says, so sorry your daughter and all the other LGBTQ people had to experience such hatred. Thank you so much, Diana. That is so important to me. Diana also says, it's about being your authentic self. This is what we preach. But labels exist. Under the umbrella of being human, we hold a lot of labels. Thank you, sis. Thank you so much. T. Brevard says, is it necessary to understand the why? It's hard to get away from labeling and judgment. I'm not sure when she said that, but I wasn't reading on time. And then Judy says, Kitia, not all pastors are that cruel. This is good. Okay, this is a pastor talking. Not all pastors are that cruel. I'm so sad you experienced that. Some know how to love them through it. Thank you so much, Judy. That was such an important point. So let's get back to Miss Candace. So Miss Candace, talk about this second grade situation. In your experience as a therapist, licensed therapist, have you come across children who are LGBT, and what is the usual age that those kids know? That's the question I'm asking you. What is the usual age that those kids know?
So I haven't worked with anybody that young, like second grade
Stop there.
age.
Stop there. What age did you know Candace? How about that?
And that's what I was about to say,
yes.
because that's really crazy, because I realized in the second and third grade, like between second and third grade, that I was different. I didn't know what it was. I knew that I liked girls. I knew I felt something different for girls than boys. So that was really interesting that, Kitia, you said that, because I was just sitting here like, oh my God, like that's when I remember like going into the bathroom and like, you know, me and the girls would be in there and my mom would teach me about different things, because even at that young of an age, I had breasts. Like I was a big girl, like I was the biggest one in my class, so I had breasts. I had to wear a bra. I didn't get to train anything. Right, I went straight from a t-shirt to a bra. So like when girls will come in, I was like, "Oh, you need to tighten that." And like I'm teaching them what, and they're looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, I'm just trying to help you out. But it was crazy because I knew I was different, and I looked at boys like they was my brother, versus, you know, oh, I like him, mommy, he's cute. I wasn't even about that. I looked at girls like, oh, she cute, you know, and it was crazy because during that time, my family was so church heavy. And I remember, I lied to you not, I remember, now this was second grade. I remember being in second grade and they had to send home permission slips about teaching the girls and the boys about the differences between girls and boys. You know, the birds and the bees. You know, this is back in that age where you take the permission slip home, parents had to sign, you brought it back. And we actually learned about in vitro fertilization during that time. I remember sitting in class in the back, watching this whole process, second grade, saying, that is the way I'm going to get pregnant. Like, I remember that. I remember saying, I am going to have babies by in vitro. That is what it's going to be. Like, this other way does not seem kosher to me. Like, and I literally did not even realize what I was saying at that young of an age. But because of the heavy influence of church, I stayed hidden for years. Years, I did not say anything. I had people who came and told me later, oh, I knew because you never brought any boys around. Well, I had a boyfriend. Like, okay, if
Because
that
you
was
gotta
your
have
answer,
one to be
right, you
politically
gotta have at
correct.
least one. But I had talked to boys. I had a boyfriend in high school, but it wasn't. It didn't feel right to me.
You were
It
going
wasn't.
through
Yeah,
the
it wasn't.
you were going through the motions because it was the in thing. Everybody had to have a boyfriend. So Candace is going to get a boyfriend. It don't matter. Plus, look at all that church they were throwing in your face. Candace, I want you to take a moment and explain to those who are listening. When you said your family was church heavy, how did that? I want you to isolate. How did that make you feel, knowing that inside of you, you didn't really like boys, or better still, you liked girls, and then your church is heavy? And I say that because, again, going back to self-harm and suicide, which is the worst outcome of that, the fact that a lot of these kids feel trapped. They're trapped. And all this talk about church, I love God too, but I believe that God didn't make a mistake when he made me. So, sister, talk to us. Talk to us.
So, in the beginning, I really wasn't like pressed about it because I was still trying to figure out like what does liking girls actually mean.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until I got to high school that it really started affecting me. Because in high school, that's when I was going through classes to be a subdeacon in the church. I had preached in the church. I was in a choir in the church. I always sat under my aunt. So it didn't start affecting me until then. Because then I felt like I had to hide who I was really to be this person that they wanted me to be. And then it started making me question my spirituality, because people at that time were all, and some still today will say, well, you're going to hell, homosexuality is an abomination, and all these things. So now I'm in this tug of war of being who I wanted to be and who I knew I was, or, and which means I will go to hell, or hide who I was so I can live the life according to God and the Bible and all of that. So that's when it really affected me. And I literally became depressed. I started isolating. I really wasn't like doing extracurricular activities like that because I was literally in a tug of war. And it felt like every day I was in this tug of war because I could not decide if I could be myself and go to hell, which who wants to go to hell? If you hear stories about being burned up for the rest of your life, like who wants that? And then it was like, or be the secret person and serve in the church. So, and I stayed in that arena for years. And it wasn't until I went to Ghana and I studied for 6 months. And I actually think, I'm trying to remember if I told my parents before I went or after I went. I think I told them before I went because I remember calling and I was in college at this point, and I called my sister and I was like, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and tell mom and dad I'm gay because apparently my best friend at the time, her father had been telling my dad for years that we were gay. I kept denying it. And in my head, I'm like, it's not true until I confirm it. Like, I don't care what nobody say. You just making assumptions. So that was my thought process. So I was like, I want you to be on the phone. So I go upstairs. I remember what I had on. I had on a red shirt and some blue jeans. I will never forget this day. And I lay at the bottom of their bed and I'm like, Mom and Dad, I just wanted you to know. And I took a deep breath and said, I'm a lesbian. And the look that I got from them was like, my father was like, I already knew.
You knew.
He was like, you know, we're going to talk about that later. And I was like, oh my goodness, here we go. And then my mom was like, well, I don't have anything to do with that. That's between you and God. And, you know, you just got to take that up with him. And I remember just busting out crying because something still wasn't right in my spirit. Something was like, yeah, it's something more to this than what they're saying. So literally, maybe like a few days later, my dad, he was like, no, you wrong. This is what it says in the Bible. And I'm just like, really, dude? All right, okay. That's not why I told you, but okay. And then my mom literally did not talk to me for 2 weeks. And she was the one that would take me to school and all of that. And literally 2 weeks straight, she did not talk to me. And it was so uncomfortable. Then she was calling people and saying, hey, you know, Candace just told me that she's a lesbian. And I'm trying to find out more information about it. And in my head, I'm like, why are you calling people and not giving me the chance to call those and share what I wanted to share? Like, I might not go into the whole shebang of how I came out or why I love women, but I feel like that's my right to share, not you. So it just became messy to the point where I just stopped talking about it. And when I came back from Ghana, being away at Ghana changed my life because that's when I grew a backbone. That's when I began to think for myself because I was literally out of my environment and I had to be independent. So when I was away, I got to make my own decisions. I got to live the life that Candace wanted to live. Yes, I was still in school. I was an exchange student, but I literally was able to follow Candace's rules. So when I came home, it became this tug of war with me and my mom because she wanted to control my life. And I'm like, no, I done lived 6 months on my own. That's not going to happen. So my coming out story was just crazy. Like, it was just not talking to my mom and, you know, and even to this day, like, my dad is like, I'm not walking you down the aisle if you ever get married. I'm not going. And I'm just like, and I'm not going to lie, it hurt when he first said all this. But at this point, I'm like, well, that's your loss, not mine. If you don't want to have a relationship with your grandkids or whatever, that's on you. That's not on me. And I think what woke my mom up, because my mom was saying the same thing, was that she was helping my sister with her wedding when she was getting married. And I asked her one day, I said, Mom, how do you think I feel? Not that I'm not happy for my sister, but watching y'all make all these plans for her, you know, with being at the house, you know, she's going to have the wedding on the land. But yet I will never get to experience that with y'all, ever. Because y'all can accept me for who I am and for who I choose to love. Like, I don't. And she was like, well, now that you put it that way, you gave me a lot to think about. And I'm just like, but I'm not, in my head, I'm like, why does it take all this though? Because as a parent, children accept their parents for everything they go through when they're younger. The parents can be abusive. The parents can cuss them out. The parents can slap them. The parents can be in fight with whoever, who and whatever. And the children will always be there and love their parents. And I'm trying to figure out, why is it that it cannot be reversed? Why is it that children have to fight their parents for love, support, and acceptance of the things that they choose to do? Because when my parents was going through their stuff, I was there. I still love them both. I asked them don't put me in the middle of it, but I still love them both. you know, but it seems like children can't get that. But for their parents, you know, and children, like, their parents can do no wrong, and their parents are doing wrong left and right.
Yeah. Candace,
Well,
girl, I am just so proud of you, girl. There's so much to unpack, but before we do that, let's take some comments. I'm trying to behave right, okay? Because I'm just sucked in. I'm sucked in. So we have Judy says it's Candace's place to share what only you have the right to do. I think that's what she meant. And then Diana says, my God loves me, and no preacher or pastor or anyone really could tell me otherwise. Way to go, Candace. So Candace, you're getting a lot of love up in here. And so let me just, oh my God, girl, what? Did you feel the hug that I gave you? I'm gonna give you another hug. Boom. So Candace, you are breaking it down for me today. You are saying, first of all, you got depressed. And I write that down because it's important when I talk about suicide in children, and everybody's like, oh, they were depressed. I never buy that. I always ask, what is the root cause? If the child was 6 months old and was happy, the child was 16 months old and was happy, the child was 6 years old and was happy, and then at 16 years old, they want to jump, what child do? What happened to that child? And the problem is, people always want to put the child on medication. So imagine if they put you on medication. How will that medication fit? How will it work when the problem is not any chemical imbalance, is your parents not accepting you? Is you not being able to come out and be who you are meant to be? So I can give you every dose and class and whatever of antidepressants all day. If I don't address the trauma that you're going through, the ACEs, emotional and psychological trauma, how's that going to work? So thank you for touching on depression. And then, I have to say this. When people say that's between you and God, that is actually a very, very condemning phrase. Because that's telling you, well, it's none of my business, between you and God. Right away, it's making you think, well, since God is this person that comes and clamp down with his hammer and all these things, and they say, oh, between you and God, how's that supposed to make you feel? So parents, when you're saying some things, y'all need to take a break and just listen to it. I love what Candace says. Children do not get to choose their parents, and they get to accept all the bullshit that their parents are dishing out. And so parents, what's up with that? Not because I'm a perfect parent, because God knows I have my own fair share. But what's up with that? When are we going to start listening? Candace remembers the shirt that she wore the day she told her parents. That is how important that day was to her. Candace, I bet your mama don't remember that, even the day of it. So parents, again, the reason I'm having this conversation is so that you can just go back a little bit and look from a bird's eye view and see what your child is seeing. If you allow yourself and not be worried about what people are going to say, what the church is going to say, what God is going to say. How many of you have died and gone to heaven and see that heaven is full of straight people, or heaven is not full of? How do you know? If God made all of us in our own image and likeness, why would he make me a mistake if I'm in his image and likeness? Who told you God is a he? That's another day's conversation. But I'm a hop on to Miss Kitia real quick after I take this comment. 1 second. Miss Lashondra, are you still in the conversation, Miss Lashondra? All right, 1 second. So Larry Pinkett is saying something really important. She's saying that from day one, I told you I don't care who feels whatever. I will always be next to you, no matter what. I love you and you are an amazing woman. I'm not sure who she's talking to, but that's important.
Oh, that's my sister.
Oh, okay, yeah, thank you. So Miss Kitia, okay, we're going to go on to Lashondra. This is Lashondra. Thank you so much. So Lashondra, you're coming from, I don't know, do you have any kids yet, Miss Lashondra? I'm not sure. Okay, very good. Thank God.
I want some though.
No, where I'm going with this is not about that. I was going to go with, do you share any of the sentiments that Candace shared with regards to how she felt, if she felt essentially excommunicated by a father that said, I'm going to disown you or whatever. Did you have any of that feeling when you were coming out? Please tell us a little bit about, have you come out to your parents? And if so, how was the experience? Thank you so much.
Well, I believe my mom already knew. I experienced it when I was younger, but I didn't have no type of lashback or no negative commentary with my parents. My parents already, my mom already knew. But I'm the type. Love is love. I'm still gonna be. God is gonna forever be first in my life, and I know no one is perfect, and I just got to accept things for what it is. But I haven't never received no commentary.
But and I want you to tell us, since you're exact opposite of Candace, can you tell us, therefore, when you are owning your coming out story, how do you feel owning your coming out story? How do you feel?
I would say I feel confident. I would say I feel more humble and grateful that I took that moment to express more openly because I'm a private person. And but yeah, I feel grateful, I feel humble, and I feel more so bold and confident.
So, Candace, I'm going to hop on back to you. Were you able to use any of those words that Lashondra just used to describe yourself? Bold, confident, grateful, all of these things. When you were coming out with regards to your coming out, not today, but with regards to your coming out story, did you have any of those words, empowering words, confident, grateful, bold? Did you use any of those words?
I did not, because I had suffered with low self-esteem for a long time, and that's a separate trauma story. So with that intertwined into figuring out who I was, you know, coming up through my teen years and early adult years, those words are not words that were in my vocabulary. Those words didn't come into my vocabulary until I stopped one day and said, time out. Something has to give, because I have thought about suicide a few times growing up. I just wanted, I just wanted it to all be over. And, so it wasn't until I did the self work that now I use those words as being grateful and acceptance and loving myself, and making self-care a part of that as well. So it wasn't until, and I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't until my late 20s, early 30s that I began to do that work, because I had so many years of trauma that a lot of people, and if people are on my page listening, they're gonna be like, what? A lot of people didn't even know that I was dealing with, because I was that quiet person. I was that person that suffered in silence. They looked at me, at least this is what it felt like, because I was so good in school and all of that. That's where I was put on the pedestal, but everything else in my life was failing. So that was the only area that I excelled in. So that's the area that I concentrated on. So, like I said, it wasn't until my late 20s, early 30s, and I'm only 36. So this work is recent done. Late 20s, early 30s, that I start really incorporating those words into my everyday life.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. If you're watching and you have any questions for any of the panelists, please kindly write your questions in the comment section. I love it. Diana says, thanks, Dr. Uchenna, for caring about this important topic. LGBTQIAP matters. So this is so good. This is why we're doing it. It's called the BAGA series. If you're just joining us, my name is Dr. Lulu, Black and Gay in America. And yes, I was very intentional about the word BAGA, because we just had a lunatic president that had MAGA. So I was like, I was gonna go there, because Black and Gay in America is a thing. We do exist. And so I'm gonna hop on to Miss Kita, because there's something that Candace just said that just hurt me so much. So Miss Kita, do you believe that your daughter today will use the words grateful, bold, confident to describe the way she feels about her relationship with you with regards to her coming out story?
In regards to her relationship with me,
Yes.
I would say, I hope so. I would hope so. Um, I honestly don't think that my daughter feels secure in how I feel about her sexuality. And that's why I said that I wanted to do this, because I don't think that she feels confident that I support her.
Let me ask you a question. And you know what? If you're watching me, I want you to know that this is Dr. Lulu preparing for her CNN segment one day, okay? Because I'm gonna be a famous, I'm gonna be a famous interviewer on CNN that asks folks the difficult questions. So, Kitia, I hope you're ready for my next question because you don't know what I'm gonna ask you. So, Kiki, did you show your daughter unequivocally that you supported her? And feel free not to answer. But do you think that you showed your daughter unequivocally that you supported her with regards to her coming out story?
In my heart, in my mind, in my spirit, I think that I showed my daughter unequivocally that I supported her 1,000,000%. I do. I just don't think that my daughter feels that way. We have.
So the question I'm going to ask you is going to be, why is there a discordance? Why do you
Because
feel that she?
we have some other issues that we have to work out, that kind of made our relationship a little bit estranged. That sometimes I think that my daughter feels I'm not there for her, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. And I'm a mother. And here, let me tell you guys a funny story. Okay, when I was growing up, you know how girls are, right? I'm a first child, first girl, whatever. Me and my mom were just like always butting heads. And so my mom was like, "You're gonna get a girl just like you. You know, you're gonna get a daughter just like you." And then after I had 3 boys, I was like, "Mom, guess what?
I didn't get a girl just like me." But I think I did. I think I did.
And you know, my mom and I are cool right now, but I feel you. I said that because
growing up,
I know.
I'm more like Candace, but growing up, I did not have my parents. I come from a drug addicted mom, an alcoholic father, who my father was absent, and I was taken away from my mom at 7. I was raised by my aunt, who raised me and a sister and a brother. Okay. I just celebrated my 49th birthday last Sunday, which means my aunt raised me 41 years. My aunt just passed away last October. So I went through some things in my life. Like Candace, my self-esteem was always not the greatest. You know, so I went through 24 years of abuse with their father, the pastor. Yeah, with their father, the pastor. 24 years of abuse. And had I not got out of that, I would have got out of that in a body bag. But I was blessed to walk away when I realized that I was going through the 5 stages of abuse. And I took my kids. But my daughter is the only daughter. My son is the only son. And like all women, my daughter loves her father. He can't do any wrong in her eyes. So You'll see where I'm going with this.
No. I see where you're going because
No,
what you're
because
saying in essence is because of that relationship with her dad, and her dad can do no wrong. I am seeing that his rejection is 200 million times worse. And I think parents
and not only that, it's my fault
uh-huh.
that the marriage messed up.
Mm.
Because what my daddy said, what you said is not true, because my daddy said you did other stuff. My daddy said you cheated. My daddy said he never put his hands on you. My daddy said you messed up the family because you took us away.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So because of these things, I'ma act out. So now, whenever you get into another relationship, you a hoe.
Mm.
Because you brought another man home.
Yeah, I get that.
You see where I'm going with this?
It's all
It don't even
yeah.
It doesn't even have to be 10, 11, 20 men. It could only be 1 or 2. Whenever you stay out all night, you neglected this family.
Hmm.
But you don't know that I'm protecting this family because I'm not bringing a man around this family. You understand what I'm saying?
I love that. I love it. I felt that. I like the fact that Candace had mentioned children always love their parents. Why not the other way? So, Kitia, this is for you. What you're saying to me is you came damaged, baby girl. You already came damaged. And that's transgenerational trauma that you already brought to the table. So I get it now. I get it. You don't have to tell me anymore. I get it because it's what we do. We hide everything. And then it's interesting that you said that, and not to bash the good pastor, but it's interesting that you said that you experienced trauma in the hands of the pastor himself.
Not only with the pastor, but I experienced trauma with my cousin. I experienced trauma with other men. So what happens when you get into other relationships that people say are wrong? You understand where I'm going with this? You hide them. So all the way back to the very first question that you asked me.
Yeah, I got it.
I said I'm not going to answer.
I knew that. I want to mention something at this point. This is my book. If you're just watching, I have this book called A Teen's Life. And I mention it because of something you said, Kitia. In this book, I discuss the absent Black father syndrome. I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yes.
But Obama and George Bush II, both of them made a big fuss about absent Black father syndrome and all the things that come with it. So, sister, you is good. Grab your copy from Amazon. If you want an autographed copy, holla at your girl. I'll send you an autographed copy ASAP. But in this book, I discuss absent Black father syndrome as a thing that Black children have to deal with and all the things that come with that. And let me tell you something about absent Black father. If your father is in the house and not emotionally available to you,
he's absent.
I just want to put that out there. Okay, I just want to put that out there. So now let's hop on to Miss Lashondra.
Can I ask a question?
Oh yeah.
So I really want to ask this question because this is a question that I had pondered for years, and this is for everybody. If your parents don't fully accept who you are sexually, can they say that they fully really love you? Because for me, I feel like to love me is to accept all of me. Good, bad, ugly, and different, and all that you, and all of that. So this is a question for everybody.
I'm gonna take it first. I'm gonna go first.
Say no.
We'll go with Lashondra, and then we'll go with Kitia. Kitia, I hear you. So here's what happened with me. In my case, when I was 16, okay, so I went to, okay, first of all, I'm Nigerian, born, bred, buttered, and slightly burned in Nigeria. I went to an all-girls high school. So Candace, talking about cougar meat, just hanging out, just all over the place. I went to an all-girls boarding high school. Boarding high school. So I'll be
in Nigeria.
So this whole time I'm like, Lord have mercy, you know, see no evil, whatnot. And then I told my dad when I was 16, I said, you know, I think I like girls because one of my classmates had said that in our yearbook. And my dad was like, oh, don't worry about it. It's just a phase. And then I grew up and I, you know, first daughter, my dad is a general in the Air Force, did everything right. I got married because it's what we do, you know. But while I was married to my ex-husband, I don't know how, one day he said, he didn't tell me that I was gay, but he said all women are lesbians. I don't know where he got that idea from. We never followed that to figure out where it came from, but I knew, I've always known. And I had a friend called Keisha, and Keisha, if you're watching me, you know I love you, girl. Honey, I had the maddest crush on Keisha. But for me, when I'm married, I'm going to stay married and that's it. And so the reason I left my marriage had nothing to do with that. It was pure domestic abuse and emotional abuse and psychological abuse and financial abuse. And I was like, I can do bad by myself. So when I left, and then I met my soon-to-be ex-wife and I told my dad was like, oh my God, we're going to disownyou.com. And my siblings were like, disown her? How? She all the way in the US, you're over here. She's 42 years old, you're here. What you gonna do? And so sometimes, so I remember my dad said, Dad, do you remember when I told you when you were 16? Guess what my dad said? Well, I mean, I don't really remember. Of course you don't remember, but the kids always remember. The kids always, so I'm going to hop on to Lashondra or Kitia to see if any one of you guys want to respond to Candace's very valid question. But in the meantime, while you're thinking about your response, Judy says, God has a divine purpose for you, Kitia. Oh, Kitia, I'm so glad to receive it. And bless all those he brings into your path, girl. All right, Judy's like,
I claim it.
And then Diana says, Kitia, bless you. Stay strong. Listen to your heart. Be true to yourself. Kitia, you're getting some mad love up in here. And then Dominic says, wow. And I'm not sure who she was saying wow to. And then EJ Johnson says, hello, Candace. All right, so y'all are getting some love. Thank you so much. The girls got some hot flash. Hold on now. I think, because I know, Kitia, you said you're 49. I'll be 52 on Thursday, honey. So, yeah.
All right, Pisces.
So, but yeah, we don't crack, so I good. But
no.
Or Lashondra, do you want to take Candace's very candid question?
I would just say yes, but I don't know how to explain. But I just feel yes because I would say yes, the parents will love you.
You say yes, the parents still love you, but is that what you're saying? So I love this. This is exactly why we have a conversation, and it's healthy conversation. And I can agree to disagree, and that's okay. I have a child, and I have a child who's non-binary, and I knew when they were 2 or 3 that they were gay, and I loved them since then till tomorrow. But I'll say this: when they came out as non-binary, that kind of shook me for a bit. It didn't affect my love for them, though. I just needed to understand what non-binary was. And you know what my child said to me? Say, Mom, it's not about you. It's not about, you don't have to understand to support. I just wanted to toss that out there. Go ahead, Kiki. I saw your hand up.
I want you to explain to me because I have not heard that one yet.
What?
So I need you to explain to me what non-binary is.
Oh, non-binary. Okay, sure. So
and
I have a book coming out. It's called A to Z of Accepting, Understanding, and Supporting Your LGBTQ child. So holla at me, send me a DM if you need a copy of the book. It's still in the works. But more importantly, and I'm coming to your question, more importantly, I have a free PDF of 10 things you should know about raising your LGBTQ child. And one of the things I talk about there, the letter D, is don't mess with those pronouns. If they want he, him, It's they, them, her, whatever. If the child, if that's how they feel, you have no business in that they don't feel that way. So further on in that PDF, when I talk about pronouns, I talk about all the alphabets. And so one of them is non-binary. So a person who is, so let me start with binary first, and it's easy to remember to understand non-binary. So binary is just like you and I. I'm assuming that you were born as a girl and you felt that in your body you were a girl and you identify as a girl or a woman or she, her, and then someone else like me, born as a boy, which is cisgender, and I'm okay being a boy. I believe, I feel everything as a boy or a male, and so I'm a he, him. And then there are people who don't feel that they're either boy or girl. They're just in the middle somewhere, or just no gender at all. So the binariness talks about gender, not sexuality. So that's a great question. And thank you for asking. This is why we're doing this. So the binariness is about the gender, not the sexuality. So the person feels like they're either a boy or a girl, or neither a boy nor a girl. That's non-binary.
Okay. Okay. I got it. Yes. Yes.
Thank you for asking.
And to answer your question, I feel that a parent can love their child wholeheartedly, but when you cannot accept who your child is for what your child is, I think that that love is not the same. And I don't feel like, even with my daughter's situation, I believe that her father loves her. I believe that he loved her wholeheartedly. But the day that my daughter told him that she was a lesbian and that she liked girls and she no longer liked boys, I believe that because of how he felt, some of his love for her diminished. I don't think that he loves her the same, because he constantly tells my son, has she changed yet?
Oh, wow.
You know, or he say things like,
wow,
well, she can't never bring that, she better not never bring no girl to my house.
Oh, wow.
It's 4 years later. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So it's 4 years later, he still has not accepted. So I don't feel like it's like the way that I can explain it is like a relationship. When you break up with that relationship, the love leaves, right? So that's how I feel.
Yeah.
And I see Candace down there shaking her head.
No,
That's how I feel though.
No,
I feel like
Kitia, thank you. Yeah,
that's how
Kitia, this is so important to me. This is so
I'm
important
serious.
to me. I want to say something, Kitia. That hit me. That hit my bone, okay? That hit my bone when your ex-husband says the words, has she changed yet? So here's the thing. So there are two things going on here. The first one is, can a parent truly love a child all the way without accepting? I don't believe it. And this is coming from a parent, and I'm not saying, you know, there's anything wrong with someone who believes it, but I just don't like. And it's, you see, the thing about it is, we have to be grown enough to be okay with disagreeing. It's okay, as long as you're not trying to mess with one of my baby birds. I'm good. But this is so important that your husband uses the phrase, has she changed yet? Because that means that he's thinking that this is a
she will change one day.
Exactly. And so let's come down to Lashondra and maybe Candace later on, but Lashondra as a child, and maybe not fully you, but I want to include you so you can stop turning off your window, Lashondra. You're live, girl. You guys are live. Stop turning off your window. But Lashondra, so on a more serious note, do you feel like, I know your parents didn't do that, but do you think if your dad had the same stance as Kita's ex-husband and uses phrases like, have you changed yet? What do you think, and this is hypothetical, how do you think you would be today, emotionally and otherwise? Talk to me, sis.
I would think I would have felt, my self-esteem level would have probably felt would have been low. Because again, I'm an empath, so I feel a lot. I have so many emotions. I deal with other people's emotions, and if you know what an empath is, you know what I mean.
I'm an empath.
So I have to. I believe, hypothetically speaking, I probably would have been depressed. I probably would have just I don't want to say ran away, but I probably just isolate myself.
Thank you. Stay right there. Stay with me. Stay with me.
Still love my father for who he is, and I still forgive him, and that's the key in certain situations. In every situation in our lives, we have to forgive everybody, no matter what. You gotta have a forgiving heart. Everybody, no one is perfect. You gotta love a person for who they are. Friend, no friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. At the end of the day, you gotta have a forgiving heart. That's why I stand.
I love that. Thank you so much, Lashondra. So Chandra brought up a key point here. Let me see my little cheat sheet here. Said, I don't know why I wrote it. Okay, yes. So here's the thing. I was listening to Bishop T.D. Jakes, and he said, forgiveness as an entity is never about the person that upset you. It's about you. So that as an entity, I want to put that on the back burner for a second. I want to come back there. Candace, this is going to be a tough one. Candace, with everything that and the way you were treated with regards to your coming out story only, do you feel, oh my God, I'm feeling an Oprah moment up in here. Do you feel like you could forgive, or have you forgiven your parents or your father, whichever parent?
I honestly forgave both of them, but it took a lot of self-work to get to that, because anytime I would think about, I've been engaged twice, and during both of those times, I couldn't even enjoy it because I knew that my dad and my mom and certain people were not going to attend because I was a lesbian. The best thing, it's only one person that I'm still struggling with, and that's only because I just found out something recently, and that's with one of my sisters. I found out that she would not let my youngest niece come stay with us when I was going through college because I was a lesbian. And the crazy thing is, I never took my nieces around anybody I was dating or anything, and both of my nieces are lesbians, and I'm like, it's not for me. But my sister I'm struggling with is because the last time I was planning to get married, I have another older sister who was going to be in the wedding. She found out by my middle sister that she was going to be in the wedding, and then the sister that I'm having problems with, she's like, "Oh, I'll be in the wedding now, but you're only in it because you found out another sister that you don't claim is in it. Not in it for me because she had an issue with walking down the aisle next to a woman. I'm not going to have 14 people walk down the aisle one by one. We'll be here all day." You know what I'm saying? And so she's one that I'm still struggling with. But as far as my parents, I had to forgive them because I had to move on with my life. And my parents are in a situation where health-wise, they need their children. And for me, in order to be in that space with them, because my mom's been having health issues for a few years now, but in order for me to be in that space, I had to be at a point where I'm not doing things out of animosity, and I'm not doing things to be vindictive and things like that. So I had to get to a place where I forgave them. And the crazy thing is, unless one of my sisters showed them this recording, neither one of them knew. Neither one of them knew. I did the self-work, and even to this day, my dad won't talk about it. He'll talk about it with other people, but he won't talk about it with me. And I just got to a point where, you know what? That's his stuff. That's not my stuff. So I learned how to give people their stuff back, and I'll keep what's for me. And that's how I was able to forgive them and move forward.
I love it. Lashondra, did you want to say something?
Ashandra,
Yes, go ahead.
I'm gonna be like you. I'm like the Oprah of the interviewer.
Yeah.
I love to. I'm a overthinker, and I love to think deeper and on a deeper scale. And I know I'm different. Like Keita said, some people are meant to born to be misunderstood, and it's okay. But my question to you, Candace and Keita, if you had the chance, would you forgive this person for your sake, or like, would you be able to talk to this person, to your husband or your parents again from what they done to you or done to with your situation? That makes sense.
I would, you know what? I would talk to my dad, not necessarily my mom, because my mom gets into this place of wanting to feel guilty and stuff like that, and I try to, explain to her that everything I've been through in my life helped me to get where I am, even though I may not have understood it right then. Like, my story can help somebody else, and I'm able to share with them how I was able to get to this point, even though I had to deal with all the bullshit, right? My dad, and like my mom is coming around, so if she would have to bring it up to me, like, I'm not going to go to her and say, hey, let me talk to you about being a lesbian again. Let's talk about that, because I'm not going to do that, because my mom is dealing with other things health-wise that I just feel like, for me, it's more important. Now, if my dad bring it up, at this point, I may or may not. It honestly would depend on how I feel, because I've learned that when somebody show you who they are, believe them. And so therefore, I get to decide if I'm going to engage in that conversation, knowing how he is and where he is mentally. And sometimes I just don't feel like it, and I don't have to. And then there may be a day where I'm just like, you know what, Dad, let's just go ahead and have this conversation. I'm letting you know, though, this is going to be the first and last time we had this conversation. Because I don't want to be in that place of, I have to take this because you're my dad. Yeah. No. I don't have to have this conversation because you're my dad. And I know y'all Southern and y'all respect thing. Well, I'm 36 and I'm adult, and y'all raised me to think for myself, and I don't want to have this conversation. Especially when it's coming from a place of you wanting me to change and want to point out why I am wrong, versus saying I love you regardless. Mm-hmm. So therefore, because I know it's not going to come from that, I may or may not have that conversation, honestly.
What about Keita? I love you regardless. That sounds like a children's book. You know what? Y'all are giving me some time. I'm about to drop a children's book about LGBT, and it's going to be called I Love You Regardless. Candace, you is dropping, okay? Dropping nuggets. I love you regardless. Parents, I'm going to take a moment because I can. Because it's my show. I'm going to take a moment and talk to you. Yes, you. I'm looking you straight in the eye. I want you to listen to the hearts of the people in this panel. I want you to hear me when I say you need to love your child regardless. Because ultimately, your child didn't choose to come to the world through you. They just found themselves as your kid. And you need to listen to how damaging this can be. Candace, I have a question for you. Are you ever going to get married? I mean, honestly, yes or no, with or without your parents, are you ever going to get married?
I would get married without my parents. I have come to a point to accept that they may not be there they won't be there. However, I'm still working through some other things. So I don't know if relationships are for me right now.
Well, you know what?
And it has nothing to do with what they did per se. It's just things that I have experienced, and I'm just like over it. So I'm still doing some self work because I still think, like, out of the last 3 relationships I've been in, it wasn't a match. It wasn't, and right now I think I'm fearful. So I'm working through that fear, and not to say that, I don't deserve to be loved. I'm worthy of being loved. One of the things I keep telling myself is that I'm not a trophy. I don't sit on the bookshelf. I'm not sitting in the bookcase. I'm not to be admired when you feel like you want to admire me. I'm a queen and I sit on the throne and I rule. So that's what I tell myself, and that's what I expect. So right now I'm just taking a break, and I'm doing some self-care and some self-love. And if it happens, great. If it doesn't, I love me and I'm enjoying life. And that's where I leave it. So
you know what? I need to jump in here because as of January 1st, my soon-to-be ex-wife said, I'm leaving. And it hurt me to the bone because I'm a lover, not a fighter. I love loving, okay? And I've had to learn, my coach, thanks to my coach, I've had to learn to be okay with self. And so I feel you, sister. High five. I feel you. I'm doing this. She said, this could literally be the best days of your life. Like literally. Why is you settling, or why is you worried about somebody or whatever? So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be 52 years old, queenager, and I'm a rocket. So thank you, sis. Thank you so much. Now, Lashondra in the building. What you gotta say, sis? What you gotta say? Talk to me.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
I don't know. What was the question?
I think she wanted me to
I think
answer that question.
Oh yeah, it's Keita's
Okay,
turn.
okay, Kitia. I think Lashondra already. Okay. Lashondra asked the question. I think, yeah. So, Kitia, I think the question is for you, girl. I don't know. I'm just having fun.
Ooh, child. Well, can we just get a couple bottles of wine and some hookah and some tarot cards, and let's sit here and tell the story? Let's sit here and just tell the story. Well, you say, can I forgive? I've learned that this is my life, and I've learned to accept apologies that sometimes you're not gonna get. I've had to accept apologies from abusers physically that I did not get. I've learned to accept apologies from abusers sexually that I did not get. And my ancestors have continued to watch over me. They have continued to bless me. They have continued to open up doors that I walk through with my head held high. And I can continue to tell myself, I got this. So to forgive them, I forgive them because karma is spelled with 5 capital letters. And people have to understand that the world is not flat, it's round, baby. So what you give out eventually comes back to you. I'm like you, Ashandra. I'm an empath.
Thank you. Thank you all so much, Kitia. Thank you so much for bringing that. Kitia, may I just say I love you. I love your energy so much. Candace, honey, I'm about to blow you up on Twitter. I love you. Love it. And then of course, Ashandra said grateful, bold, confident. I need to say that again because I want the parents watching me to see the difference in a human being whose parents nurture them, support them, accept them, protect them, understand them, aka Lashondra, and a family whose parents are like, I mean, well, that's between you and God. Well, you can't do this or you can't do that. Who told you that? Y'all, please don't make me, y'all gonna make me lose my head.
But Dr. Lulu, I honestly don't like when people say that, because
yes, I know. I said
it
the
makes
same
me
thing. Yeah.
it makes me question.
Yes.
It makes me question, because you have to understand that, and people get mad at me when I say this, because they always say that's between you and God. But if you read your Bible and you you read your Bible and you understand your Bible, homosexuality was prevalent in the Bible. But then they tell you not to practice homosexuality. They tell you that homosexuality is wrong, but they did it in the Bible.
Well, listen, but and you know what? Thank you for saying that, because Bible Belt and all that FS is what I have to say. But here's the thing, though. We have 10 commandments. Okay, I'm going to go there because I can. We have 10 commandments.
Mm-hmm.
Of those 10 commandments, none of them is about sexuality.
But I was just going to say that, no.
But here's where I'm going, though. But of those 10 commandments, I see Christians breaking those 10 commandments. I see pastors breaking those 10 commandments. I see the rabbi breaking those 10 commandments. I see the Buddha, the mosque. I see all of them breaking those 10 commandments every day. Okay? And then when somebody says that they're gay, the first thing you think about is what goes on in the bedroom. And I say that all the time. If you look at me as the gay doctor, you're missing out on all of this goodness, because there's so much more to me than what happens in one department of my house. Because when I hear about you, I'm not thinking about what you're doing in the bedroom. We lost Candace. Candace, come back. Oh no. But it was Kitia. We lost Kitia. But yeah, so I guess that's a sign that it's, all good things must come to an end. I wanted to just take a moment and go around. God, I have so much more to say. Y'all gave me so many nuggets for my book. Thank you so much. So we're gonna start with the soft-spoken Lashondra. She don't talk too much because she cool like that. So Lashondra,
the quiet one.
Can you tell us where can the viewers watch? Where can they find you? And before, we got some notes. Oh, sorry. Let me read some comments. I'm so sorry. So Judy said, forgiveness is the key to freedom. Unforgiveness holds us prisoner. We hold the key to freedom. We release ourselves from the burden of their sin against us. Forgiving. Okay, so she's back. Yay. And then Diana, I love Diana. Diana says, I love myself. If you hurt or disown me, I'm done with whoever that person is. Thank God for my strength and mother's modeling. So Diana is giving you guys some love. And then Judy says, Candace, oh, what love. I love you regardless. So you're getting so much love, Candace. Candace, you are the MVP today.
Hey,
yeah. All right, ladies. So Kitia, Lashondra, and Candace, I cannot thank you enough. Every time I do one of these, I always feel like there's a lot more to say, but every good thing has to come to an end. We're already at an hour and a half, and we didn't even scratch the surface yet. But everyone go around 1 minute at the most. Tell the viewers where they can find you. Drop your books, drop your links, drop your Cash App if you got one. Drop what you gotta drop, honey. Honey, child. Feel comfortable. Tell them where they can find you. Miss Kitia, take it away, sis. Where can the viewers find you?
Facebook, Celesta Williams. Clubhouse, I am up under Lakita28. What else? Instagram is, I don't even know my Instagram. My Instagram is perfectly Kitia. My Cash App is capital KITIA 228. Yes, I am accepting all late birthday gifts. Yes, I am. My birthday was just this past Sunday.
Twitter is Kitia, here's the thing though. When we're done with the show, I need you to please go back and respond to all the comments for all four of us really. And then when you respond to the comments, and you can actually write down your information. Okay.
See that on your page, Dr. Lulu?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh Lord, because that's a lot. You say respond. I'm like, dang, that's a lot. I can't even remember all that stuff.
You don't have to if you don't want to. That's okay. I like to do
I'll
that.
go back.
If someone didn't get it, they didn't catch what you said. If you
Yes,
write
ma'am. I'll go back and respond to any. I don't have a problem responding to anyone who has anything to say. I'll go back and respond.
but we only, you know what? You only got love, dude. It was all.
Yes, I love everybody. This was great. I love it.
Yes, ma'am. Lashondra.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in for Dr. Lulu
Coming.
coming out story live stream. You guys can follow me on Instagram at intellectual_ambition. On Facebook, you can follow me at Lashondra Davis. In parentheses, it should say Shawnee. Clubhouse, I believe, is intellectual_ambition as well. And my cash app is Pure Love Essentials. For any consultations that you would like for any type of administration support for your business, project management, creative support. I am taking on new customers. Once again, thank you guys.
All right.
Hey everyone.
She's fucking it. She dropped her cash app. I ain't even playing. About it. Very serious. You know, and you know what? Lashondra came ready. She was like, listen, my Instagram is this. That.
I love it, Lashondra. I love it.
Cash app. Candace, talk to me. Where can we find
Hey, this is Candace. You can find me on Facebook at Candace Sewell, in parentheses, Bacon Queen. Yes, I'm a woman of many talents. I do a lot of stuff. Instagram and Twitter and all of them, guess what? It's going to be my same name. I didn't venture off and do anything different. It's still Candace Sewell. You'll find me. If you want to do individual therapy with me, I do have my own group practice, which is called Journey Counseling. And that's Journey with 2 E's. And the reason it's with 2 E's is because the 2 E's stands for endlessly evolving. Because on this journey we call life, we shall always be endlessly evolving. And if you want to learn how to do that and how to incorporate other things, because I know I always say, but you don't know my parents and you don't know this, you don't. Well, I'm going to teach you how to get through all of that and how you can work through all of that. So you can find me at journeycounseling@gmail.com, or you can always just send me an inbox and I'll definitely reach out to you. Cash App, I'll send it to you in an email.
Oh my God, y'all, this has been so much fun. If you're watching, I hope you got as much value, as much information as I got. I think in Nigeria, they say when you teach, you learn twice. Every time I do these, my brain is just like getting bigger because I'm just acquiring so much knowledge. So I think it's fair for me for those who are just joining us, to just drop some of the nuggets that we dropped today. Ooh, my goodness. Just so you know, LGBTQ kids, LGBTQ plus kids, AKA gay kids, they were made by heterosexuals. I bet you didn't know that. And so when you're thinking, homosexuals are made by heterosexuals. So when you're over there thinking that there's something wrong with your own child, maybe you should look in the mirror, right? That's one. And number two, yes, it tends to run in the family. You heard Candace say she got 2 nieces or whatnot that are lesbians and all that. I know it runs in my family. I got me and I got my son and I got some other family members, but I'll let them tell their story. Okay. And then we go to the pastors, or not the pastors, the religious people, and your reaction to your child and how dangerous that could be. Let me tell you something about a child. A child is a gift from God. A child is like a talent that God gave to you for you to multiply and produce more. You have no right to clip your child's wings. I don't care what for. It's not about you. That's what my son said to me. I want you to look yourself in the mirror and it's not about you. And you cannot love your child up until such and such, and then you don't love them anymore. Shame on you, because I can. And if it bothers you, ask yourself why. Because that means you're doing it. And meanwhile, you might even be gay. And then we also talked about how that's between you and God. Folks, nobody likes that phrase. I don't care what it's about. Don't tell people that's between them and God, because that really, the undertone is worse than what you're saying. And you know what I'm talking about. Depression is real in children of LGBTQ spectrum. 9 times out of 10, lack of self-acceptance, which comes from lack of acceptance from the parents, is the cause of that. So while you're busy thinking, let's put the child on medication, stop and ask, what's your role in creating that child? And that child who is depressed. Because I talk about that in my TED Talk. If you don't know yet, check out my TED Talk. And then last but not least, I love how Candace said, children always love their parents. Why not the other way? Children unequivocally love their parents, full of shit or not. Parents, your kids love you. I'm asking you, I'm giving you permission, I'm challenging you to love your kids regardless. It's not up to you to say, well, I love you up until such and such, because really that's coming from fear. That's coming from your own insecurities, your own inadequacies. What you are thinking about yourself is what you're thinking about your child. So that's my time, y'all. My name is Dr. Lulu, AKA the Momatrician. Go grab my book. It's called A Teen's Life. In this book, I talk about teenagers and what they deal with their family, friends, their parents, their peers, and why they jump. It's called A Teen's Life. It's available on Amazon. If you want an autographed copy, holla at your girl. I'll send you one with my fancy signature, which is what, $10 more. Yes. So when I die, I'm famous. All right, ladies, it's been so much fun. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to say, I'm going to let you guys go around one more time, and everyone just say one word of advice that you have, beginning with Kitia. Word of advice for whoever is listening, Mama.
Come into yourself, know your truth, and be your truth.
Man, Kitia, are you always serious, man? You be drunk. Do you remember all so deep? I love it. I love it. What about you?
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, I would say be yourself. Never give up on your dreams. Continue to be different. Continue to be being yourself. Just be different no matter what to make that impact in life. And never give up.
What about you, Candace, the queen?
So I'm gonna add to what they just said. I'm gonna also add, be your authentic self, meaning without the hats, without the different faces, because we're all somebody's aunt, sister, cousin, mama, whoever. So being your authentic true self, which means if you were to look in the mirror, you like the person that and love the person that is staring back at you. And it's like, I want you to love yourself down to the core of an onion. A lot of people say you have to peel back the layers to really get to know somebody. Well, if you peel back them layers yourself, nobody can tell you about you because you know you. So peel back your own layers and get to love your authentic self for who you are, what you are, and who you're becoming.
I love it. Becoming, one of my favorite words, thanks to Michelle Obama. Well, that's my time, y'all. Hopefully you'll join us next week. We're going to have continuation of BAGA series, Black and Gay in America. We're going to be talking to our brothers. Yes, we is. And we might even have from a special somebody in my life. They might show up next week. I've been nice to them. I've been loving on them. I've been trying to get my special somebody. I don't want to say their name in case they don't show because they're like my prince. Okay. They might show next week, but we're going to be talking to the brothers. We're going to have the flip side of this conversation. We're going to talk to Black men who are gay in America, the trifecta of life, Black, gay, and male. Ha! Meanwhile, join me on Clubhouse at 6 p.m. Central today. Yes, sir. We're going to be talking about parenting your LGBTQ plus child. Just look for my name, Dr. Lulu, on Clubhouse. Come join us. It's going to be real, If it's me, it's real, it's raw, and it is. Yes, go ahead, Lashondra. Take my joy, girl. Take it. Go.
Ping me, Dr. Lulu.
Okay.
And after this is over, I'm going to reach out to each and every last one of you guys because I want to interview you because all of you are warriors, and I have a project that I have to put in the forefront and be consistent with it. So I'll be over some interview questions.
Okay. And I will make sure I send it back.
And I would like to do therapy with you, Candace.
Oh.
Okay. I will
Look
reach
at
out
that.
to you.
That cash app is working.
I will definitely reach out to you afterwards.
Your cash app is working, Candace. All right. So we go, every good thing has to come to an end. So I think this is a good place to pause. What I think I'm gonna do, and I'm not sure if you're still watching me, please type in the comment section. Would you like these ladies to come back maybe like once a month or something to do a deep dive? Because these are real issues that need to be discussed, and then maybe we can take one issue at a time. So if you want these ladies to come back, type in the comment section, come back, and I'll make sure I bring them back. That's my time, y'all. My name is Dr. Lulu, aka the Mom Nutrition. Peace out. One love. Yes, sir.
Bye.